say it. Is that better? Can y'all hear me a little better there? You like the other one? All right, thanks, baby. That's my wife, Kenny. I'm blessed to have her. We've been together for 5 years now. And she's been just kind of a light up my life. You don't find 6'1" redheads. I appreciate her. And she's been with me in this race. It's finally starting to feel like a race. We've been going after this for 5 months now. Last summer, I was pretty happy and content as the district clerk down in Cody County. I've served in county government for about 2.5 years, and nobody was looking to run against me, and our state senator decided to retire. President Trump happened to come in and be the assistant secretary in the War Department, is what they're calling it now, so he's going to be one of 5 assistant secretaries, I believe that's the right number, and be right there to keep Hegseth, making sure that our U.S. military is ready to serve. It's going to be a neat moment this fall. He was there the last time was 9/11, when the terrorist attacks happened, and he'll be here for the 25th anniversary this fall once he's confirmed. So that opened up a lot of doors. A lot of people showed interest, and ultimately only 3 of us signed up to be on the ballot. I'm one of 3 candidates for me to replace him. I'm from the Waco area, that Jennifer mentioned. And so it's kind of a diverse population. We go just a little bit west of here from Eunice, down to Mansfield, the western half of Ellis County, and then it kind of just starts going through the countryside, from Hill County to McLean County, down to Falls, and then you start going northwest from Waco, all the way to the east of, if y'all are familiar with Texas geography. Just imagine a 130-mile triangle, and every side is about 130 miles. And that's what this district is, with one county cut out. So it's a big, sprawling area. In 6 months, we put about 21,000 miles on a pickup truck, trying to keep up and get to meet everybody. It's 1 million people in the Senate district, and we're trying to get to know all the voters, let them know who you are while we're running. Who I am is basically a local servant that's ready to step up and serve the state. For 15 years, I've served in the state guard and helped protect our border for about a year in 2011. And then I've served in times of emergency response, whether it was Hurricane Harvey or other natural disasters. The state guard is usually the first one that shows up just ahead of the National Guard. And we set up the emergency response system. We have to evacuate people, get them in shelters, and make sure that Texans are safe in times of difficulty. On the other side, my day job is being the district clerk. So if y'all are familiar with the legal system, we keep all the court filings. But just as importantly, we take all the money associated with court cases. So if you lose or win that big civil lawsuit, oftentimes the judge has you hand that money over to the clerk, they run it through the court system and give it to the appropriate person. So that was a big challenge. We had a 6-judge system there at the district level, and we managed a jury system for all the courts, which was a total of 12. So on top of that, we also managed our money, I mentioned, and that was kind of my daily life. From that, I got elevated to put on the state board for the courts, and so I started dealing with public policy out in Austin. There were a lot of things where laws had just been sitting there, they didn't keep up with technology. One of the ones I helped fix was if you've been a victim of a crime, you have monetary damages. It's part of the criminal case, it's called restitution. And that is supposed to go to the clerk's office and go back to the victim. And through just some conflict in state law, it was going into a big fund in Austin and not getting back to the victims. So we cleared that up and made sure that the money actually got back to the victims. That was kind of a little small achievement that the victims were sure happy about, but the average Texan's probably not had an award of that type, because you have to be a victim of a criminal action and money awarded to you. So that kind of led me to get involved more in the legislature over the years, working with Senator Barnwell, Anderson, and a number of other community senators. And from there, we started talking to people about this idea of running for state senate. And through Parliament Venture, I met Jennifer last summer, and she's been quite an interesting person. We found out a few months ago that she actually lives in the district. We've been friends for 4 months and didn't know that. So she offered to help out and invite me up here. And one of the main issues that we've been talking about with people is property tax reform. I know she has some work she's been doing on that as well, to try to help people protest their values. The other side of the equation that Governor Abbott's taken up the mantle of recently, and through other politicians, is to try to compress the property tax rate so that the actual property tax you pay for schools lowers over the next 2 to 6 years. So we've had budget surpluses and we've dedicated to a lot of different purposes, but one of the things we haven't done is actually try to buy down the property taxes in a meaningful way. So if we can get that done, we might actually see the property tax going lower instead of continuing
Yeah.
higher. So
Woo!
that's a big thing. And I can tell by her enthusiasm and others that that's we've been talking about it for 20 years, we need to actually deliver. Another one is water resources. And some of y'all are in development, and you know we've got to have water because the moment the toilets start flushing, it gets ugly fast. And Waco has water issues, DFW has water issues, and we need to work on solutions that benefit the entire state. Some of the solutions are just going for Dallas, some of them are just going for Fort Worth, and some of them are going for certain regions, but we need to make sure that the system benefits all of Texas so that no one's limited by lack of water on the roads. And that's a long-term goal that we need to make sure we address. Otherwise, we're going to have disparate treatment, different regions being favored over others, and that's something like the dream that Texas was built on. My 7th great grandfather was involved in the original war to win independence, and part of that was freedom, responsibility, private property rights that the Texans were fighting for, and that dream needs to stay alive. We need to fight for those values now, and that's one of the main reasons I wanted to be in the state senate. So what kind of questions y'all have about state government?
Yes, thank you so much. Anyone have questions?
Preguntas.
So if you could go ahead.
Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, absolutely.
Stand on the podium.
Thank you, I appreciate you. I'm talking to a long about property tax and property tax reform. So we created an app called the Andy app, and now you can protest your property taxes. I'll click the button. I guess my question is I'd love to hear your plan as far as what it looks like to ease some of the property tax burden, especially on the middle class. I mean, that's the ones that get squeezed the most.
I think the biggest thing we can do is across the board rate compression. That would be, it's also the most difficult thing to do. I know you've talked to a number of other people, but for that to be meaningful, it's not picking winners and losers. It's letting everyone that owns property get relief. And that's not just the property owners, that's the apartment tenants as well, because if property taxes go up, guess what the landlord does? They push that right back to the tenants because they still have to pay the value of the mortgage insurance and property taxes. So property tax relief, it's meaningful, it can be across the board, and not everyone owners and losers.
Good. Last question, sorry guys, I'm bumping out here.
Yeah.
So my question is, do you support your constituents and other Texans, protest their property taxes? So before you answer that, the biggest question is everybody talks about legislative changes, everyone wants to change things. But ultimately, and I know in Austin that sometimes there's a lot of red tape and things that happen with legislative changes. So I always want to support what's already in the books now, which is let's educate the public on what can already be done, which is protesting. So I'm asking every folks that are running for office if they support property tax protesting as a means. In the meantime, allowing them to continue.
Yeah, it's the legislature, as you mentioned, it's different than the state. And you have 120 days every year. So that's a compressed schedule. It has to do with every part, from property taxes to water issues to regulatory issues that we've been dealing out. And so that's a very tight schedule when it comes down to it to get meaningful change to happen. And you're right, something needs to happen for the citizens so they understand the system better. Your app is a great step in that direction. The other thing is if they don't have good elected officials that are willing to run term budgets, protesting the property taxes is the only meaningful way to get started.
Last question. Yeah, improvements. Are you going to the office again for improvements? Because I couldn't. I got a friend that's doing this. I see him getting right through the mud. I'm like, God, I don't know how to handle this. I'm quitting like yesterday.
Well, I hear you go to the food office. Why run for office? So 14 years ago, 2014, not 14 years ago, but close, I stepped up and ran for district clerk, partisan office. But the main thing that I've heard from our judges and other people, I wasn't looking to run for office, but they said somebody needs to, and nobody else will. And they said, you should do it. I said, that's key, you know, let's find somebody. And really, there wasn't anybody who was willing to run. We had an incumbent with well entrenched, but what had been happening over the last 12 years, 10 years that she'd been in office, was the budget for that office had grown twice the rate of the county budget. So it was literally a stressor on the property tax system because our clerk's office was growing at twice the rate of the county budget. When I came in, we held it flat. For most of the years, we added one net new person over 10 years, but that was while adding 3 courts to the service. So it was about efficiency, about taking care of people's property tax dollars that were receiving.